Hey guys, this is Melody, and today we're doing yet another Scrawlrbox. Sorry we're doing 2 in a row, but because of the cosplay and stuff, I got really behind and opened the February one really late, and this one just came in, so I figured why not just film it all at once. So I did these both within the span of a week. So yeah, let's get into it. This is March's box. And as you will see in a moment, it came with some colored pencils, which I haven't used in forever, but they were a lot of fun. And when I first got this box, I noticed that it was really heavy, so I was hoping it came with a sketchbook, and it did, which is good because I think I only have 14 or 15 pages left of the one that I wanted to finish in February, which obviously did not happen because I'm working on it now, but hopefully sometime this summer I will have that one finished. I really do like the picture that they gave us, but I'm pretty sure it was done with more than just colored pencils, just based on the look out of it. It almost looks like there's paint or like some type of ink pen that did the gold on there. Anyway, they included also a print for us to color. My only complaint with that is the type of paper they used. It does not work at all for colored pencils, and they've done this in the past. I think the very first Scrawlrbox I got, it was the same kind of paper that they printed it on, but you can't color on it because the marker just like beat it up, and so it would smear really bad. And this one, the colored pencils, it was just hard to get color on it because it's like a glossy photo paper that you can't really color on. So that's probably my biggest complaint with this box, and it's not like the coloring page is really a necessity in the box, and it was just an extra little perk. But if they're going to do it, it would be nice if they did it on just like cardstock, just normal cardstock that's not glossy, that I can actually color on. Anyway, as most of you know, I am from the US. This box is not. I think it ships from Scotland actually, which is pretty cool because I'm Scottish on my dad's side and was really obsessed with that for a while. Still really would like to go to Scotland at some point. So the candies they send in these boxes, most of the time I've never heard of, never seen before. This one, I don't even know how to describe. Like, it was a little bit menthol-y, or like pepperminty, I don't know. But almost a little bit fruity too. It was interesting. So to the art supplies, this is actually a woodless white colored pencil, which is pretty cool. This one, well, there's 2. One of these is a blender. One of them is a burnisher, I think is how you say that. Basically, the burnisher is meant for coloring over what you've already done with the colored pencil, and it's just supposed to kind of give it a nice finish. I definitely had to read about that on the card because I didn't know what it was before that. And the other one was just the blender. Obviously, it helps you blend. The pencil for this box, not my favorite. I think because the tip is just so large, it's hard to do small little doodles. So for this one, I ended up doing a 2-page spread, which I've been wanting to do for a while, so it kind of worked out. It was just kind of an awkward pencil. Not my favorite, but you know, to each their own. I'm sure there's somebody out there who really loves this pencil. In this box, they also provided a pen, which is kind of just like a liner, but I think it was a ballpoint pen. I mean, it felt nice, but it was pretty standard, I guess. My one complaint with it is that at some point, you can see later on, it started skipping. So I would go to do one long line, and it would just kind of skip out and not draw for a while. So that was a little bit frustrating, but I feel like it's a problem you have with a lot of pens like that, and it wasn't that big of a deal. I was able to go back over and, you know, fix it and create a line. So for this box, the prompt was Enchantress. So I draw this lady, and I had this idea to draw like a staff and maybe draw her holding it, which did not work out because I just could not find a way for her to be holding it that did not look awkward. So I just drew the lady, and then I drew her staff on the other page, and wow, my head got in this so much. I think it's just because I was trying to look over and see the details and just really get in there. But, you know, one of these days I'll have my act together and I'll figure it out. Because the other thing is, when you're drawing on a flat surface, especially when you're filming, it kind of distorts your view. That's why a lot of people draw on kind of elevated surfaces, like they're at an angle, because when you look at it, it's more true to what you're actually seeing. But when you draw on a flat surface, her face and this picture is kind of long, but from where I was viewing it, if I sat back, it looked more round. So it kind of just distorts what you're drawing. Anyway, while I was drawing this, it really reminded me of my childhood, because I used to draw things like this a lot. There was a time, I think mostly in junior high, where I was really obsessed with colored pencils. I think I mostly used the Prismacolor colored pencils, and they're great. They're still usually the colored pencils that I will use today. If I use colored pencils, yeah, they're usually the ones I go for, but I haven't really used them that much recently, and when I have, it was over watercolors or over markers. It wasn't a solely colored pencil piece. I don't feel like I've ever really gotten a good grasp on colored pencils, and I think part of it's just the texture. For me, it's just, I don't know, I like really smooth drawings, and so the texture kind of throws me off, but it was a lot of fun getting back into them. And what would be really fun would be not having to stop talking so that I could cough and then come back to the voiceover. It's getting kind of old. And so is waking up at 3 a.m. with the coughing fit and not being able to fall back to sleep and then getting up at 5 for work. Anyway, I'm a little bit sleep deprived right now. But it is Friday, so hopefully I can sleep in a little bit tomorrow. So the first thing I did was I wanted to go in her face. There's no really good skin color. They do provide a brown, so I could have gone with that and just kind of made her darker, but I wanted to have her staff thing. Trying not to cough. I really wanted her staff thing to be giving off light. So I wanted her face to be kind of lighter and then have a contrast with that light. And then I ended up using blue as shadows just kind of throughout this entire piece. There were two blues, a dark and a light one, but I thought the dark one looked better. I used a red just kind of as her blush and her lips. And yeah, there's not a whole lot to say. It took forever to shade this, partially because it was a 2-page spread, and partially because I didn't know what I was doing. I haven't used colored pencils in so long that I felt really hesitant to do a whole lot. And so I wasn't pressing very hard on the pencils, which then led to me having to go back and do second and third coats on top of things. So it probably took me a lot longer than it needed to, but did I learn from it? Yeah, probably. Will I do other fully colored pencil pieces? Maybe. I really do enjoy colored pencils because I can layer them on top of other things like watercolor and marker and add extra texture and add just a little bit more detail, and I think that's what I'll still primarily use them for, but this was a lot of fun to do. So you'll see in the design there's a lot of like just kind of flowers and leaves and stuff in the background. They're not super detailed because I didn't want them to detract from her and her staff, because those are the two things I want to draw the attention to in this piece. But I kind of wanted something to fill the space, and I thought it would look kind of pretty to have some flowers and some leaves. I don't know. The green from the leaves kind of ties in with her shirt, and then I was able to add a little bit of a pop of color with the flowers by making them kind of like an orangey yellow. You'll see that I opened the sketchbook back up and there was suddenly a lot more detail. That is because I did this in 2 days. I filmed it after work, 2 different days, so I was not able to finish it the first day, So I resumed the second day, and my camera battery died the first day, so that's part of the issue. And then I kept drawing for a little while because I just wanted to make progress. So that's what happened. You really didn't miss much though. Here I'm going over with the burnisher? It's a weird word. And just kind of going over it, getting that nice finish on it. But I think I ended up shaking the camera a lot, so I eventually just stopped recording this part, and I figured it was kind of redundant anyway. But it really does make the colors pop and look a lot darker than they were before you went over it, which is kind of cool. Anyway, that's about it. Then I just added some highlights from the staff on the other things, and then I went in also with a white gel pen, which was not included in the box, so I cheated a little bit. But I wanted to give some highlights, that's the word, in her eyeballs. So I did that with the gel pen, and that's about it. I would have used the white pencil, but it didn't really seem to do a whole lot. And I've never really been good at using the blending pencils. For some reason I just can't get them to work for me in a way that seems useful. I find it easier just to blend the colors themselves without using a blending pencil. Maybe I'm just using it wrong, maybe there's some technique I don't know of, or maybe just my style doesn't work with a blending pencil. I don't know. So yeah, this is me using the gel pen I was talking about. In all, I think this piece turned out alright, and it was a lot of fun to use colored pencils again. I did really like these pencils. They seemed really nice quality, and the paper is really nice and thick in this sketchbook, which is helpful, so maybe I can do some pieces and not have them bleed through like my current sketchbook. So that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next one. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe if you haven't already.